in this athletics championship. It's the men's and women's 100-meter finals. We're starting with the men, and Andrew Cott is your commentator.
Thank you, Benjamin. Azamati is the first out. He was running very quickly in the spring in the US, has struggled a bit in the summer to recapture that form. Didn't get a good start in the semi-final, but if he does, look out for him. Yupun Abekun of Sri Lanka ran very well in the first round, 10.06. Just looked a bit tight in the semi-final, but again, if you can find that first round form, he may well feature. Ferdinand Omanyala, though, is going to be the next man. Well, he was never going to join the distance ranks of Kenyan runners. All power, born to sprint, quickest in the semi-finals. The African champion this year perhaps starts as the slight favourite, but alongside him will be from South Africa the defending champion Akani Simbine. Took the title in a South African 1-2 in the Gold Coast 4 years ago with Enrico Brunches in silver. 5th in the recent World Championships as well. And Simbine will fancy himself as the man to beat. Emmanuel Essemi, Cameroon, have never taken a medal of any colour in this event, but Essemi certainly has a chance. This really is an open field in the men's 100 metres, and we're about to meet the two home athletes. And the loudest cheer will surely go to the next man into the arena, and the Alexander Stadium welcomes Nathaniel Mitchell-Blake. All the home athletes have talked about the lift they're given by this crowd. What a semi-final it was for Mitchell-Blake. Took the victory in his semi-final, 3rd fastest time overall. Let's see how fired up he is, but Jeremiah Azu for Wales, the British champion. Azu's coming away, the start of the gods in the semi-final. They will surely try. He gets out so fast. Can he hang on? A PB of 10.15 in the semis. He needs that and perhaps more again. Rohan Browning of Australia makes up the lineup, which is 8 athletes, 8 different countries. There are a couple of curiosities about this final. That hasn't happened since 1994. We've had 8 different countries competing in the final. Nobody from Jamaica, no sprinters from the Caribbean at all. And that's the first time since 1986, and it was a Caribbean boycott of Edinburgh in '86. I think also of Botswana, who've got the quickest man in the Commonwealth at the moment, and the staggering talent, the 19-year-old, just turned 19, of Letsile Tebogo, who's running in the World Under-20s, ran 9.91 in Colombia, and he's actually just gone below 20 seconds with a cruising 200 metres, so look out for Letsile Tebogo in the future. I understand they've got a slight issue with the timing at the moment, and these are the nervous moments, Colin Jackson, where you're ready to go. You can see how fired up they are, but the psychology of this and trying to sort things out.
And this is where the champion is really made, where you keep your calmness and your focus on the job in hand, not any distractions.
So little, just a bump of knuckles between Simbine and Omanyala, the South African and the Kenyan side by side, and they would start as the 2 favourites. And again, just looking at them lining up, the 8 different colours, the 8 different countries. Azamati of Ghana on the inside, Abekun of Sri Lanka, Omanyala of Kenya, Simbine of South Africa, Essemi of Cameroon. Then you have Nathaniel Mitchell-Blake for England, Jeremiah Azu for Wales, and Rohan Browning for Australia. All adds to the nerves, adds to the tension.
On your marks.
But now we're ready. How can 32,000 who made such noise in the final of the women's 10,000 metres now fall so quiet? Azamati, Abekun, Omanyala, Simbine, Essemi, Mitchell-Blake, Azu and Browning for the final of the men's 100 metres.
Set.
Oh, flying out the blocks, Simbine, but look at Omanyala alongside him, and it's Omanyala who's powering his way. Is anybody going to catch him? Omanyala surely for the gold takes it. Simbine with the silver, perhaps Abekun for the bronze. 10.02, the winning time. But again, the smile says it all. For Ferdinand Omanyala, Kenya have a champion in the 100 metres, so well known, so well used to taking titles in the middle distance and beyond, but they have the quickest man in the Commonwealth here tonight in Ferdinand Omanyala. And from that start, Simbini, others were trying to get back to him, but they just couldn't. He was too fast, too strong.
And very, very confident. Simbini, the defending champion, ends up with a silver medal. But what a tremendous performance. And the Sri Lankan taking a bronze. Who would have called that 1, 2, 3?
Well, I mean, we're talking about Kenya winning the first Commonwealth 100 metres golds. I mean, Sri Lanka, first time on the podium in 100 metres. So this is it's been a curious final indeed for lots of reasons. Nathaniel Mitchell-Blake and Jeremiah Azu just couldn't get into that race at all. They had threatened and promised so much with their performance in the semi-finals, but really Omanyala, again, look at him, he's a sprinter. And he's got the smile of a champion now as well.
I love to see his celebrations. Look at that. He really feels a sense of honor, doesn't he? You can see he just has that pleasure of winning. No stress, saying, I'm the Commonwealth champion. What else do you expect? Great run.
I think it was Simbini with the silver, Abekun with the bronze. And just as we look at a couple of replays, the frustrating thing for Nathaniel Mitchell-Blake and Jeremiah Azu will be that, you know, the times they ran in the semi-finals, I know it doesn't always work out like that, but the times they ran in the semi-finals would have got them onto the, you know, the very edge of the podium. But Omanyala out and gone, and from this point, Michael Johnson, no one was catching him.
No one's catching him. I mean, he's got a great start. He's very compact. Sometimes he gets a great start, sometimes he doesn't, but he's been pretty consistent this year with everything that has gone on with him. World Championships, getting in a couple of hours before that heat. This was his opportunity here, and he took advantage of it, just led this race from start to finish. Akani Simbini, so much experience, been in 5th and 6th place in so many World Championship and Olympic finals, got a really good start over on Omanyala's right side, but it didn't bother him at all, and he was able to come through. He looked relaxed from the very beginning. It was interesting seeing Omanyala and Simbini sort of bumping knuckles right there on the start line as they were trying to figure out the start situation. You look right there and you see that actually coming out of that drive phase, Omanyala had a little bit of a dip and a little bit of a misstep there, but recovered well, didn't panic, and stayed with it here and still led this race from start to finish. Simbini, the reigning champion, relegated to 2nd place, but still a medal. For the Sri Lankan, that's a really good performance there. He's been pretty consistent with his times all year, and to come in here and get a bronze medal in this field, great accomplishment for him. He will be certainly heralded back home in Sri Lanka for that performance among some of the best sprinters in the world here. But Omanyala has been very good all year long, and yeah, it was so sad to see what happened to him at the championship, the World Championships, coming in and out a few hours before his preliminary heat. Made it through that, got into the semifinal, but that was the 2nd day, and the fatigue just took over and wasn't able to get into that final, where I think he would have certainly mixed it up with those with the Americans who swept it. Maybe not a medal, but he certainly would have wanted to be in that final and give it a shot. But he got it here and took full advantage of it. Great performance.
Trust his troubles, his tribulations for the World Championships, where a visa problem meant he'd only arrived there just before his heat and was all at sea in those World Championships, but all is forgotten now because he is the Commonwealth champion. Simbini with the silver, Abekun with the bronze, and Jeremiah Azu 10-1-9 down in 5th. Again, he could have perhaps threatened the medals after that semi-final performance, but you saw in the